the Vice President, fellow delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Tony Bray, President of School of Business and Information Technology, and also the Chairman of Entrepreneurship Club Mukomba University. I'm standing here to represent my school as well as to bring the ideas we have as entrepreneurs towards combating this criminality. Thank you. Human trafficking, as it is being said, that it is a modern slavery that replaced the old slavery that happened. We got the chance, and our mothers and fathers who were then in the times of colonialism, they marched and advocated for their rights, and they were destroyed. But the opportunists didn't see as an opportunity. They continued to invent the new ways of remaining in the market, making people as their resources. But for me, as an activist of human rights, as a student, educated and creative, I believe that human beings must have the equal rights and must be all defended, regardless of their sex, regardless of their tribes. Human trafficking is, in this debate of today, I may disintegrate it in three ways: of awareness, of the solution, possible solution, how to combat it. 29% of the victims are men, and the rest are women, whereby our young girls, women, are taken out of the country in different forms, in legal ways, so as to make sure exploitation, sexual exploitation, domestic work, especially here. This is a criminality that had been faced by the foreign continents, the Asians, the Caribbeans, the Americans. But this kind of evil has been transferred to our beloved countries of Africa, especially here in Uganda. But differently, this is brought about by the kind of poverty that is happening here, whereby our parents are very convinced that every child who is educated must also become rich. This brings pressure to our children, to we ourselves, but also due to the fact of the mindset that we have to replace all those our parents invested in we. It is much easier to be convinced that we have to replace them in a shortest period of time, so as we can make those parents happy. My fellow students, as a person, as an entrepreneur, and as a leader in this school, in this university, we are the ones to bring this change, to remove it. One day, Obama said that change never comes if you wait for any other time or for any other person. He continued and said that we are the ones we've been waiting for. That's where I draw my strength, that in we ourselves, as School of SEAD, as School of Law, as School of Business and Nursing, we have to make sure that we support the Blue Card movement. Blue Card movement is a movement. Blue is a color of a movement to make sure that we reduce and combat and fight this hectic thing. So, as President of School of Business, we are starting to revive as we took over the government. We are starting to unite together to make the awareness on blue card movement. Recently, I had last told my cabinet that we were preparing this. So, Wiro International, you are not alone. The School of Business, next semester we were planning to launch this, and all of a sudden we got a chance and we brought this awareness. I'm very glad that we did. So, as I'm concluding, the most perfect way to combat this thing, to reduce this thing, is not only to promote awareness. We may promote awareness, but most of the people remain ignorant about that information. And most of our people are being convinced due to economic depression. But skilling Ugandans and giving them the right platform and the right ways on how to skill them so as they can get their money, not being employed, not being taken out of the country to be employed. I think this could be the most way. This is the right thing we should do. We as Entrepreneurship Club, we have started this initiative of skilling the students of Ugumba University on how to use their own ideas, so as our university also can invest in them, so as they become stronger economically and they go out without the mindset of that they are going to be employed, but they go out with the mindset that they are the ones to use their ideas they have so as to become self-employed and economically strong. So someone who is self-employed, who is doing something, who is given that platform, cannot be easily be convinced in that way to be trafficked. I rest my case, but my conclusion is that we need skilling Ugandans so as they reduce this mindset of being employed, to reduce this convincing number of the traffickers. I beg, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Tony Blair, for representing School of Business, SPIT. And the last panelist is representing the School of Sciences, and specifically is from the nursing department. Most of the panelists have heard much about human trafficking, the stages of human trafficking, the causes of human trafficking. We have seen the different causes of human trafficking. You as an activist of human trafficking, or a person that could fall a victim of human trafficking, what recommendation, especially concerning domestic trafficking, what recommendations would you give? At international level, we have seen Article 12 of the European Union Human Trafficking Directives, which are more of a form than a substance. What recommendations do you give on the international level? Thank you so much, and you're most welcome.
Thank you so much. My name is Barbara Simpson, as Kaya said, and I'm representing School of Sciences, particularly Department of Nursing. Much has been said about human trafficking. They have enlightened us what actually human trafficking is, and I hope by this time all of us have adequate knowledge on what we mean by human trafficking. All of us are a victim, as We are here, legal professionals, especially people like us who have reached at university level, people like us who have, they are inquiring for jobs. There is an influence of social media. We are more likely to be victims of human trafficking. But, and especially my group, the nurses, there are always so many adverts talking about jobs in US, jobs in America, US, Canada, and other countries abroad. But we need to know how do you fill such jobs. There are core elements. Previous speakers talked there about sex being part of the types of human trafficking, forced sex, forced labor, death bondage, and many others. But I've been tasked to look at how best can we advocate for eradication of human trafficking. What recommendations should we give to people at domestic level and at international level in order to eradicate human trafficking? When you look at domestic level, these human traffickers usually come with their advice, come with information that we have jobs, we are taking you, and even to the worst of it, they even tell you that we are paying you free visa, we are paying you transport, we are paying you everything. But before you make a decision with your family members who are at that domestic level, first clearly understand what is this scholarship for? Is it having a clear documentation? Is there a recognized body organ that can protect me in case I leave? And if you have been able now to finalize with that, then look at, do I have my documents? And if you at least part of your photocopies or the documents with someone who can be parents, and also keep in touch with the government, specialized government officials that can help you in case you need help. And also you can also look at taking various research about where you are going, because human trafficking is very, very terrible. And previous speakers actually mostly talked about of our organs. The organs they take organs through in human trafficking. But I will also look at it not only losing organs, but there are also other dangerous health-related side effects that can come as a result of human trafficking, such as a risk of suicide, risk of hallucinations, mental illness, and victims of human trafficking end up resorting to drug abuse. They end up getting infectious diseases like HIV/AIDS. They end up with unwanted pregnancies, unrest, a lack of rest, and also living a very terrible and miserable life. So, our dear audience, it is nice to understand that human trafficking is very dangerous. We need to be conscious of it and also take various solutions on how we can eradicate them. As the youth leaders or as the people who have reached at university level, we need to find solutions, or we need to advocate for human trafficking and eradicate human trafficking. And this can be achieved through some of the following measures. We have to keep advocating for it. Not only to remain here at this debate or this symposium or this discussion at university level, but also go to communities and pass this information to our young children, because there are very many people who are there and they don't know much about human trafficking. Also, we need to be ready to help survivors. In case the person has been a victim of human trafficking, like for example, in the science, in science or the health sector, we always say that prevention is better than cure, but still cure exists. So we cannot only remain here and say we are preventing human trafficking, but still they are victims. There are people who have already been engaged in human trafficking. They need hope. You need this information to know how best can you survive in case you are falling a victim of human trafficking. So in case you are a victim of human trafficking, maybe you are here, you have to stay calm. Don't panic, because you may realize it that you are a victim of human trafficking, but stay calm. Maybe if you want to exit or escape from that, be conscious of whom are you going to alert about your escape. You may rush to alert like the local officials, but you end up with falling into another traffic or being pushed back, and then contact the legal authorities, maybe the persons, the country where you came from, and you may be helped. So, ladies and gentlemen, I finally say that we should be ready, be alert, pass information, keep advocating for human trafficking, for eradication of human trafficking, so that we don't fall victims. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Margaret Simpson, who represented Scholarship Councils. We shall now take the opportunity to our dear judges that are going to pose their questions to the panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Maybe to guide you more, everyone will ask a question to all of you, and you'll be given only 2 minutes because of time to respond directly to what you've been asked.
Thank you so much, our dear debaters. I'd like to ask the first debater. You gave us an overview of what human trafficking is. You did a very great job. My question is, now that we know what human trafficking is, and we live in a community where human trafficking is possible, how are we able to identify the victims of trafficking? Thank you.
How best do you identify the victims of human trafficking?
The victims of human trafficking, first of all, they're traumatized. They're always traumatized. When you try to talk them into the past, they don't want to listen. They don't even differentiate between the past and the present because they have been tortured. Victims of human trafficking, they are wounded. Sometimes they are suicidal. They want to kill themselves several times. They are isolating themselves. They have social stress. And when you see a person next to you who is acting like that, you just know in your mind, I need to ask them. I need to reach out and know if this person is suffering from forced labor or exploitation. Secondly, if there are new people in the area and you've not seen them anywhere, and they are working, and they're working in the most kinky way, and they're not happy about it, or they look bruised, or they look like they are always crying, then you have to know that that is a victim of human trafficking. Even these house helps that work in different homes, and you see them bruised and unhappy, you need to reach out to them and ask them if they are victims of human trafficking. Basically, that is it. Thank you.
Okay, still this goes to you. So, you talked about human trafficking. You elaborately actually talked about how we get the concept of human trafficking. My question is so simple. The case study is going to be here in Uganda. You can choose maybe the region. But then the question is, what are those basic 6 factors that have greatly contributed to the rise of human trafficking? The factors that have greatly contributed to the rise of human trafficking.
Thank you again. Factors that have led to human trafficking, right? Want to make a lot of profits without investing in them. Secondly, increasing technology and internet. I hinted on it before. Now that people are using internet, it has eased the work of criminals. They cannot even be called cyber criminals. It is hard for them to be caught because they impersonate themselves. You have been on Twitter and you think you're talking to the Excellency, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, when you're not actually, you're talking to some person, some impersonator from the ghetto. People are impersonating themselves, so you cannot know when they're using cyber. What has also increased is religion and tribe. Religiously, they tell women that you are subordinate to men. Traditionally, women, you're supposed to be sex materials, so they brainwash these women, they brainwash these children, and they believe that whatever they're doing is supposed to be done like that when they are trafficked. Other things that are ignorance. People are not aware. They tell you, I'm going to give you a job of 1 million just being a waitress, and you're excited. And this person is giving you a job is a stranger. They are not even related to you. They don't even know you in any way, and they're giving you this extremely nice job. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Hopkins. Suzanne, please, a question for her.
Okay, we have one question for you all. I think you will speak last. You've had the opportunity to speak so much. What is that take-home message you should give to all of us? Because there is no monopoly of knowledge, even me, I would wish to learn from you. So at least for 2 minutes, everyone should give that take-home about human trafficking, what we can do about it, and then the possible solutions within 2 minutes.
Thank you so much to start with. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The take-home message I can give to all of us about human trafficking is that we should be conscious ourselves. You know, most of us pretend when we are excited, when you are excited with a job opportunity in the US, just follow excitement. Be yourself, be conscious. And also, be advocates. As us who have attended this symposium, be advocates for this. Help your colleague where possible in order to stop human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, again. My take-home message is that every person has to play a responsibility. You don't need to be a chairman of any association. We have to always remember the choices of individual human beings that who bring that sunshine on their poor hearts, so as they can revive and feel happy and reunite. Like this Wheel International, that one who brought this idea and started to preach this gospel and make people to get aware. We too, we have to know that we are the beginners of this. In every person you're sitting with, the congregation you're with, or when you're given a chance to speak on any ceremony, the first thing is to advocate and make people aware of this. Lastly, my take-home message is that every person has the platform, particularly Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp statuses. We've got enough knowledge from this. We have to transfer this knowledge from here that we've collected from these particular participants and these particular lawyers. We transfer that knowledge into an advocative words and we post them on our social media networks and form a blue card movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for the prayer. Rachel, what is that take-home message you have for the university?
Well, thank you so much. I myself am a Christian and I believe so much in God. I believe that He's our protector and our keeper. So in case of anything, you can run to Him. So when it comes to human trafficking, you just have to give your life to Christ. You tell Him to keep you always. And this will help you not fall a victim of those traffickers, by the way. It might seem something small, but He is the one to keep us. He knows the plans He has for us. You might get out and you see something small online, you think it can get you the best you need. But in actual sense, you're going to be trafficked. I think you need to put your life, or you need to give your life to Christ so that He can always keep you, protect you, and do the rest for you. Then, not only that, we need to be watchful. We need to be careful of what we watch, what we see online, what we hear, and before doing something, first do some thorough research about that, other than just somebody telling you that I have a job for you and then you run in. You never know, this might be a trafficker. So let's be watchful and so mindful of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Rachel. Indeed, let's know, watch and report to bring the silent killer in our communities to an end. Agaran Coach, what is that take-home message we have for the entire students here?
Okay. I thought I'd lost one of my important stuff. Thank you once again. I am going to speak about 3 things that we should not forget when we leave this place. And I'm going to give you a couple of recommendations, about 5 of them.
And I'm sure I'm not speaking to only the audience within this room, even the people online should listen to the following. So one of the things we need to understand is what trafficking